Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. In particular, I want to address the censors immediately who monitor the content within the community guidelines. Um, Over the last, I don't know, several months, there have been several instances where you interrupted, stopped our podcast or restricted viewership for several reasons that are just not accurate, and secondly, it's a misinterpretation. So let's deal with them one at a time. So censors, number one, this is not disordered eating as you had mentioned. You thought that it might be. It is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Therefore, it's safe, it's been vetted, it's been examined. The medical journals do not publish uh, weight loss systems that would be unhealthy, something like disordered eating. And it's not a diet anyway, it's a detox. So not only is it published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, it's a registered trademark by the US Patent Office of a new way of eating called protein pacing. All we're doing at the New Health Conversation is explaining to people exactly what did they do to achieve these unbelievable results that no one really has ever seen before. So it's not disordered eating, and it's vetted, and it's the only medical proof other than the pharmaceutical companies on all of your TikTok or all of your YouTube with any medical proof at all. Let's get that out of the way. Number two, you'd said it was some form of body dysphoria or body image. Again, it's a detox. So what we point out to people is they're not getting fatter. We go out of our way to tell them that. They're born with a certain number of at puberty, they have the same number of fat cells they do when they die. And the only thing that happens to us over a lifetime, the fat cells expand and contract as we're taking in these chemicals, these toxins. The body pushes the toxin in the fat cell, and the fat cell expands. So the bloating they're experiencing or seeing is a result of the medical warning. The body's telling me you're toxic, you're toxic, you're toxic. This protocol is proven, again, published in these medical journals by blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving to remove chemicals from the body. And so the shrinkage has nothing to do with body images, nothing to do with comparisons. It's if you want to be healthy, you want to be able to reduce this inflammation and the bloating that you have in your body. So it's not body dysphoria, it's not body image. We don't even talk about anything like that. Number three, you said we were diverting people away from TikTok to buy products. Let me clarify. There are no products to buy. There have never been products to buy. We have nothing to sell. On our website, you can go there yourselves and look. The New Health Conversation. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing there is the medical proof. And we go so far as anybody interested, we'll coach them for free. We'll give them a free consultation. They buy nothing from us. There's no foods. There's no product. I mean, they can buy food if they want. They get a grocery list, but they don't buy anything from us. Last but not least, you at one point had said something about original material or copyrighted material. There's an interview on the website with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. And he asked us to publish their studies on our site so they're available to the world. They're actually in the public domain. P520, hello. So anyway, to make a long story short, censors, we're the most compliant people you have on all of TikTok. I'll prove it to you in one more way. We did a search through Chat, GPT, and Grok, and just asked them, is there anyone on TikTok, any of the weight loss influences other than the pharmaceutical companies or this new research with any peer-reviewed studies? And they came back and said TikTok's weight loss and health influences have no peer-reviewed trials to back up their claims. Their claims are all based on opinions and anecdotal evidence, despite massive followings. They're giving advice, relying on borrowed interpretation of existing science, personal anecdotes, self-experiments, hyper-driven claims, promoting unproven biohacks, diets, supplements, without any peer-reviewed human trial studies. So we have medical proof. They have opinions. And yet you're not censoring them, and you've censored us. Hopefully the censorship is over because we've explained to you that we're the most compliant people you have, giving people only medical proof. Okay? Thank you very much. P520, I said hello. Can I see later brush? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Can I see later brush? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Anyway, so let's get into this, everybody. So imagine she safely dropped 60 pounds in just 90 days without dieting, using a new natural detox method backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, and she's kept it off for 9 years. Let's review that again. She lost 60 pounds in 90 days, not on a diet. This is a revolutionary new natural detox. It was created, discovered, invented, whatever you want to use the word, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. They had been paid for 40 years to analyze diets, and they concluded after 40 years no diet worked, but they felt there had to be some place in the world where, for the most part, people weren't overweight. And they found other researchers who'd gone to these faraway regions in the world, like in Russia and Mongolia and Tibet and South America and New Zealand, where nobody was overweight. And although these were different countries and different people, they all had one common thing, the secret, if you would. This is too simple. The foods that they were eating in those regions had huge amounts of nutrition. And therefore, people could eat less food. Now wait, before you get panicked, your body has never counted a calorie. Your body doesn't know what calories are. You've never been hungry in your life for a calorie. The only thing you can ever be hungry for is nutrition. So we eat and overeat because the body is never satisfied nutritionally, no matter how much food. Look, these people who weigh 600 and 700 pounds getting 20, 30,000 calories a day, they still have ravenous hunger because what they're missing is nutrition. The body, you have two sort of an on and off switch for what tells you you're hungry is a hormone called ghrelin. I don't want to bore you with the science, but I think it's important you know. Ghrelin tells you you're hungry, and leptin tells you you're full. We now know there's a new term, especially with people that are really overweight, called leptin resistance, where the brain is unable to determine there's so much leptin that the body can't stop eating, just keeps going. So again, this is a detox. This is a detox, but it's different than anything you've ever done. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. So the researchers, knowing that these people were doing this, and these other researchers, see, they'd been bringing this food in from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, but just sort of having people eat it, as food. But the researchers said, wait a minute, we think we can put together a new kind of eating pattern called protein pacing, which is a registered trademark by the U.S. Patent Office. So what happens here is you would literally get a list that you would take to your grocery store. However, only 30% of whatever you spent last month, that's all you're going to buy at the grocery store, leaving you 70% of the money to buy these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. You buy nothing from us. Excuse me, we have no products to sell you. There are no products. So those combinations, 30% of your food from your grocery store and 70% of the food would come from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented a new way of eating. Listen to this, everyone. 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start breakfast. They call them the world's most perfect foods, these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, because collectively they have about 300 different nutrients. Did you hear what I said? Not 30, 300. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you don't need any supplements at all. So breakfast is the world's most perfect food, lunch and dinner from your grocery store, and a 4th meal from the world's most perfect foods. 5 days a week until you lose the weight. Okay, you got that? 2 days left in the week. You have no food from the grocery store, only these world's most perfect foods. And this time, she ate 8 times a day. Now wait, before you panic, the diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. People who weighed 400 pounds weren't hungry. Now, what you all need to, well, you don't have to know anything. I'm just going to ask you a question. I'd love to get some yeses. Do you believe we're living in a toxic world? And do you believe you're toxic? Because here's what we know scientifically. We're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals, and as they enter the body's taking that chemical and stuffing it inside what's called your visceral fat. That's the fat around your organs. Why do you think you're bloated? I know you thought you were getting fatter. That's not true. Your fats, you have the same number of fat cells at puberty you do when you die. So all these people telling you can burn fat on a diet, you burn fat at the gym, it's just horse manure. It's not true. It's just made up. It's just, there's no science. If you have the same number of fat cells at puberty you do when you die, give or take a few, how is it possible to burn fat or add fat? No, your body is telling you you're toxic. And here's what's cool. Every single night when you go to bed, as long as you don't eat too late, your body all but stops digestion, which it has to do, to turn on a natural detox mechanism called autophagy when you get rid of all the dead cells. That's how this works. But that process is not strong enough to pull out the chemicals that are stuffed inside the fat cell. So these researchers, by giving her these foods 8 times a day, she was getting food, but really small amounts with huge amounts of nutrition. It turned on the mechanism and she detoxed. Now, how did they know that? Because they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved without a shadow of a doubt this was removing chemicals from her body. Does that sound good to all of you? You're storing poisons in your body and doing zero about removing them. You now can do something about it, and you're not going to get them all out, of course not. But the medical research behind this is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. They proved that it was mobilizing toxins, the group called PCBs, which are the worst ones, boom, coming out of the body. Don't do this to lose weight. That's a throw-in. We'll get into that in a moment. I'll do some analysis for you if people want to volunteer. You tell me you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight. I'll tell you how much you're going to lose as much weight in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. And you're going to be able to keep it off. If you read, she's kept it off for 9 years. It's not a diet. It's a natural detox. What are you all doing? Counting calories, counting calories, counting calories. It doesn't work. As a matter of fact, you don't have to believe me. Everything I share with you, by the way, is based on medical proof, okay? Medical journals, period. I don't give you opinions. My opinion shouldn't mean a darn thing to you. You can follow other people in here telling you about time-restricted eating and they're a health coach and you give you recipes. They don't have any medical science. Here's the medical science. Medicare search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our research at Medicare reviewed all diets, most diets, to find out if there was any that was a treatment for obesity. The researchers found 2/3 of all dieters on any diet gained more weight than they lost. So again, you can be mad at me. You can think it's not true. And then we got Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. Says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. She said, we've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 to lose a pound. But as it turned out, the experts are learning now that this strategy of calories in, calories out is totally misguided. That's what you're all doing. They're telling you about a calorie deficit to lose weight. Nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Your body doesn't measure calories. You can't be hungry for calories. Your body doesn't run on calories. It's a man-made measurement in a laboratory. Go look it up. This is crazy what we're doing. We're looking right now, John Hopkins Medical School right here predicts obesity apocalypse in 4 years. They're saying 86% of Americans may be overweight or obese in 4 years, not 40. And what do we do? Go to Barnes & Noble, look at how many different diet titles there are. If any of those damn things work, why are you wouldn't even be on this podcast right now. If you had found a diet where you lost weight and kept it off, be honest with yourselves, not with me. What's our responsibility? Don't you think your responsibility should be as healthy as you can be? You were given this magnificent machine. I mean, your car, would you never change the oil? Would you just put new oil in? Because that's what we're doing. How long would your car last? We as human beings, we didn't choose this. We're breathing and drinking, eating chemicals. My God, they had a thing 4 months ago, one cup of Starbucks coffee. You're getting 25,000 microplastics in each cup of coffee. And now there's a new medical syndrome, registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, called the TDOS syndrome. T for toxicity, D for nutrition deficiency, overweight, and stress. Discovered by this researcher, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, everybody, that's me. Yeah, I discovered a medical syndrome that every person in the world has. I'm not just some person up here yakking. And I may make you mad. I'm sorry about that. My job is I'm here to educate you. I'm here to wake you the hell up. Your diets are miserable failures. I don't care what you think, they don't work. And I'll challenge you. This protocol that I'm holding in my hand, there's 10 medical journals, things like the Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, Frontiers in Nutrition, Nature Communications, which is one of the biggest medical journals in the world. They proved it's safe and it's real. You show me anybody on TikTok or YouTube with one shred of medical evidence. I'd love for someone to tell me who it would be. They don't exist. They're giving you opinions. I just read that to you. When we did the search, we asked Grok and ChatGPT if there was anyone on TikTok with any medical proof. And they said the influences on TikTok's weight loss and health influences have no peer-reviewed human trial studies. Instead, they're giving you opinions and anecdotal evidence with no peer-reviewed human trial studies. We got 10. Here's 10. I didn't do them. They're not my studies. So I'm not self-promoting myself. You want to change your life? It's not going to be calorie counting, keto, paleo, Mediterranean. None of them work. It's nuts. It's crazy. You all have a chance to hit the do-over button if you want. It's not our job to convince you. We created a free website for all of you to go to. I'm going to put it in the bottom. Come on, keep those hearts coming. Here it is, the New Health Conversation. Here we go. There it is right there, the New Health Conversation. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Sorry. It's the New Health Conversation. I spelled conversation wrong. Sorry, I'm just human. I really am human. This is not pre-recorded. This is live. Okay, so I posted at the bottom for everybody the correct spelling, the New Health Conversation. If you go there, we won't even contact you. Why? Because the medical proof is there, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who says they were paid for 40 years to try and find a diet that worked. Never found one until now. They created it. But guess what? They have no company. They have no products. They're scientists. My gosh, you have an opportunity with real scientific proof. And the main reason to do this, the weight loss, is the throw-in. The 60 pounds she lost in 90 days, that's great. But it was what it did medically. You'll see that oh, good morning. Someone said good morning. Sorry, I just saw that. Hello, Gloria in Canada. Hello and welcome, everybody. Come on, everybody. If you like it, look, I'm going to get really emotional. I'm going to get really excited. I'm going to fire you up. Stop counting calories. Stop dieting. They don't work. Good gosh. It's not because I say so. Here's another huge study. Why you shouldn't count calories. These aren't my opinions, everyone. Listen, our research found the truth is calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. That's what Medicare said. That's what these researchers, 40 years, they did over 100 studies. Paid to analyze, try and find a diet that works, because the people saw the future. We were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger year after year after year. In 1964, we had about 10 to 12% of the population overweight or obese, and now they're projecting in 4 years, by 2030, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. Do the math. My God, that's like what is that? 80% would be four times, it was 12%. Almost a 600%, 700% increase. And you're all on these diets thinking with your best efforts, you probably have lost some weight. I'll tell you right now what the stats are. If you did a New Year's resolution, by this point, at the end of February, 84% of everybody starting on every diet has quit. Because you may have lost some weight in the first couple of weeks, and then it's slowed to a crawl. And now the scale's going the other way. The number's going up. Somebody has to stand up and say, what in the hell are we doing? I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. And I've waited and waited for this day. It didn't come out today. It came out they started to publish these studies. Some of them took over, so we started in 2010, 16 years ago. They take millions of dollars a long time. But these researchers were determined there has to be a solution to obesity. We can't just go, well, Johns Hopkins Medical School is now saying that in 4 years, 86% of Americans will be overweight. And in by 2048, in 22 years, they're saying 100% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Do we need to get to 100% to say, you know what, I don't think diets are working. I don't think diets are working. Come on, everybody, tap on that screen. Let's get some likes. This protocol is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, in the entire world. And it's not a diet. I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works here in 1 second, I promise. And just remember one thing. If you want, I will do a free personal consultation with you. I just need to know a male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight. You may want to get in line and queue up in case a lot of people want to do it. I've only got I got about an hour and a half, that's it, and then I have to leave. I'm going to do a lecture in Florida tomorrow, so I've got to go catch an airplane in about an hour and a half. But in the meantime, I want to get to as many people as I can if you want the help. I see people coming on, jumping off. They don't even know what it is. So again, imagine she's safe to drop 60 pounds in 90 days without dieting, using a natural detox method backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trials, and she's kept it off for 9 years. Also, she gained 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. What? Yeah, they wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Not that the research against exercise, but listen, They wanted to make sure they isolated exercise so you wouldn't be saying, oh, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. This is gonna make every diet obsolete. Let me ask you a question. What if everything you thought you knew about diet, exercise, nutrition was wrong? Because it is. Evidenced by the fact that in 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in the United States. 2.5 billion people worldwide are overweight, and a billion of the 2.5 billion, almost 40%, are clinically obese. How's that sounding to you? Look, I'd like to be the voice of reason. Now, again, you don't have to listen to me. And I want to show you something, and it's not to impress you, but I want to press upon you. I've spent 23 years of my life as a nutritional researcher, and here are some of my credentials. So I've written 4 best-selling books of some of the biggest medical doctors in the world, highly acclaimed books, including the one, Your Third Brain. I discovered a medical syndrome, TDOS. But look also, I did 20 appearances on PBS. You don't get on PBS 20 times if you're a huckster, okay? I've done over 1,500 live lectures around the world in universities and hospitals and towns. Heck, they even flew me to China for 16 days to lecture. I was a keynote at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world, 2 years in a row. I'm here to help you. I'm here to educate you. We have nothing to sell you. There are no products involved in this protocol. None. It is not a diet. It's completely different. It is a detox. So the first question I'll ask everybody, and then maybe you'll stay or maybe you won't. Do you believe we're living in a toxic world, and do you believe you're toxic? Because here's what the medical science proves. We're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating toxins, some of which are poisons like herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flaming tons. Yes, you are. You see, we eat whatever they eat. Did you know, for example, that 80% of all the antibiotics used in the United States are given to animals, not to humans? And you wonder why we have antibiotic resistance? We eat whatever they ate. If it's a plant or an animal, they spray a herbicide or pesticide on a plant. You eat the plant, you're getting herbicides and pesticides. So let's not get crazy here. We're storing chemicals in our bodies. This protocol is designed and proven to help your body get rid of the toxins. That's the bottom line here. This is not a weight loss program. The weight loss is a tremendous side benefit. But the primary reason to do this is to enable your own body to begin to get rid of these toxins. You're not going to get rid of all of them, of course not. But wouldn't it be good to do something? Right now, you're doing nothing. You're accumulating chemicals in your body. You are. Right now, we're breathing in the fumes from the coal-fired power plants in China from 2 weeks ago. That's just what's going on. Okay, so these researchers, after 40 years, came to a conclusion. After 100 studies, pretty much every kind of diet there was, thousands of people, never found a diet that worked. But they found other researchers who'd gone to areas in the world where people weren't overweight. What? Yeah. And they found some of these places like in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where it was normal for people to be a normal weight, like it used to be. Go back and look at a picture in 1970 of the people on the beach. I did this yesterday. It's insane. It's crazy. You won't, and then take a look at a beach in 2025. This has nothing to do with fat shaming. I mean, it's just the reality. Something is terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. Yeah, part of it's fast food, but what's really happening is the nutritional value in our food has crashed. I have another study here that summarizes that. Yeah, over the last 25 years, scientific studies indicate the nutritional value of food, of fruits, vegetables, and grains has decreased by 50%. So what's happening to all of us, you know what they talk about, especially in North America? We're the most overfed and undernourished people in the world. Oh my God, we've got these huge amounts of food, no question. And our farmers are doing what they need to do. They're trying to survive, so they're growing as much as they can. They don't rotate the crops. It's not their fault. I love farmers. I think they're amazing. But the prices we're paying for the consumer model just aren't working. So the researchers got together with these other researchers, and the other thing they found, what was the secret? Because we had people in Russia, we had people in Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. They all had one thing in common. The foods they ate in whatever those local areas were had huge amounts of nutrition disproportionate to the food, let's say, that we have to eat. So guess what they did? They could eat less food. If I can teach you anything, it's you've never counted a calorie, your body, I mean. Your body has no idea what calories are. You can't be hungry for calories. It's an impossibility. The only thing your body can ever be hungry for is nutrition. Here's why your diets don't work, and then I'll explain to you how they turn this around. Number one, yeah, Rosie's saying yes, everything toxic, yes, can it use stricter food? Yes, exactly, Gloria, you're exactly right. Same thing in Europe. Well, I'll give you, for instance, for example, in the United States, we have 10,000 chemicals used in the production of food. In Europe, only 400 of the 10,000 they make legal. We got 9,600 ingredients that they ban in Europe. I'm thinking, wait a minute, something's wrong here. You're going to understand why these researchers, when they put this together, the food they were going to give people, 70% of it came from these faraway zones. Only 30%, let's say, from the United States or Canada or Mexico, wherever you might be in the world. So that's the key here. You're going to buy food. There's no products. There are no elixirs, nothing. So here's what you're going to do. No, you're not going to do anything. You can all go. I'm putting the website here down at the bottom for you. If you want to go there, you can see the actual medical studies and everything behind what I'm talking to you about. And if you like what you see, scroll down. You get a free consultation and a free coach. How much is the consultation? $0. How much is the coaching? $0. Okay? Now, so what the researchers did, they limited the amount of food she ate in this case, or you, to 30% from your grocery store, all organic, and you'd get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. So if you took your total food budget, whatever you spent last month, imagine you have no food in your house, you got to go shopping. Well, this time, only 30% of what you spent, you're going to buy from your grocery store. Because our foods are so nutritionally, let's say, insufficient. I'm being kind. It's worse than that, right? But the other 70% of the money you have left goes towards these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. No herbicides, no pesticides, huge amounts of nutrition in smaller amounts of food. They call these foods combinations, finally, the world's most perfect foods, making the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint. And it tastes good, believe it or not. Just because it's good for you doesn't mean it has to taste like cod liver oil or something, right? No. Okay, so now they had the food that she was going to eat. And then, based on this new model, which was based on nutrition, it wasn't based on how much food you ate or how many calories you were counting. It was based on how much nutrition you were going to put in your body. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day, starting with the world's most perfect food for breakfast, lunch and dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal, the world's most perfect foods. 5 days out of 7 until she lost her weight. 2 days a week, here comes the detox. No food from the grocery store at all. Only these foods from around the world. And this time, she ate 8 times a day. This is the detox. Now, I need to explain it to you. It'll just take me about 45 seconds. Last night, when you went to sleep, whether you know it or not, as long as you didn't eat too late, your body slowed down digestion and turned on a natural detox mechanism called autophagy when your body gets rid of the dead cells. That happens every single night. However, that process is not strong enough to pull the chemicals out of the body. They've never seen it before. So these researchers, they figured that by giving her these foods with these huge amounts of nutrition, but breaking down into 8 feedings over about 12 or 14 hours, that she'd be taking in small amounts of food, which she was, that suspended digestion, but then kind of supercharged this natural system in our body, and they should detox. And they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved without a shadow of a doubt this was pulling chemicals out of her body, and people were shrinking. Do you know most women on this lose a whole dress size in a week? And no one was allowed to exercise. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise because the researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you say, oh, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that. And they proved unequivocally, medically, and it's published. I'm holding them in my hand. 10 of the biggest peer-reviewed medical journals in the world that deal with health and weight loss. You're following people giving you opinions. You can't show me one person on TikTok or YouTube with one shred of medical evidence other than the pharmaceutical companies. And now this, you're following people's opinions with your health and your weight, and you wonder why it doesn't work? Would anybody be on this podcast right now if you found a diet where you lost weight and kept it off? I don't think so. Now, what else did they find? This is the most highly medically examined weight loss protocol ever done in history. They looked at things like liver enzymes. They looked at brain cognition. They looked at, there were people with hardening of the arteries, which is a problem where the flexibility of your capillary and your blood vessels becomes stiff. That's what it is. Well, it's in the studies. They return flexibility, for crying out loud. It's not a diet. You got to understand it's a detox. It'll change your whole life. And maintenance is simple. Oh, what else? I'm sorry, I missed one. So they lowered blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, but also they lowered inflammation, which every one of us suffer from. It came down 25% in 30 days. And what about maintenance? Easy. Have the world's this morning before I came to the studio, I had the world's most perfect meal for breakfast. I'll have lunch and dinner today, and every 2 months I do another 48-hour detox. Now, why do I do that? Because the toxins aren't going on vacation. You can be as naive as you want and think that you're going on a diet to lose weight, and you might lose some weight initially. But if 2/3 you're going to gain more than weight. But here's the point: what are you doing about removing the chemicals from your body? Zero. And yet, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should matter to you, to all of you. So again, it's really not up to us. We provided you with a free website. I'm putting it at the bottom. You can go there at any time. And if you go there, there's nothing to buy. The only thing on that website is the medical proof. In an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, he and his team invented this. They have no products. They have no company. And we're going to talk about the shots here in just a moment, which we're not against. But when you hear the real truth behind how much weight are people really losing on these shots, again, the medical proof. I'm not giving you an opinion. I want you to decide based on what? The evidence. Here's the evidence. You're the judge and jury. You decide what you want to do for your life. But right now, can anybody tell me, are you aware of anyone on TikTok or YouTube with one shred of medical evidence? I'd love for someone to tell me a yes or no. So the bottom line, why do you care about this? Why? Because isn't your job, shouldn't your job be to make you as healthy and vibrant and alive as possible? And some of you may be older and you say, oh, I'm getting older, I don't have energy. You don't have energy because you don't have enough fuel. The fuel you're putting in your body is they're basically not almost empty calories. They're just calories. Your body can't use them, doesn't know what they are. You know what your body's looking for? Nutrition. It's not looking for calories. Why is it such a hard concept? Why don't the mainstream, why don't they get this? Diets are miserable failures. Like I said, I'm going to read one more time from the study that I did. Here's Medicare, okay, everybody? Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare looked at the long-term outcomes of diets and found no matter what the diet was, 2/3 of everybody on every diet gained more weight than they lost. That's all of you. So right now you're on a diet. If you are, 2/3 of you are going to weigh more than you did. Now you may get mad at me. It's not going to change my life. But why in the world, when you're now faced, fortunately, with overwhelming medical proof that this is the answer for weight loss and health, which makes sense. Why wouldn't you do everything possible to have your body get rid of chemicals that you're storing inside of your fat cells? That's what you're doing. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. Maybe I should. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. But all of you have a gift that you could give to yourselves. See, health it's not some weird concept. And we skirt around it we have all these wonder drugs. That's great. But is that really the answer? You want to, doctor recommended, ask your doctor. We're not against drugs, of course not. We got a crisis on our hands. But what if you could reduce the amount of medication in? I'm going to show you some examples. Look at this, everyone. That's a 65-year-old man, 40 pounds in a month. But look at his A1C. He's a diabetic on insulin, 8.4 to 6.4 in a month. In a month. The medical people look at that and go, this is impossible. That's not real. It's real. And then even woman only had 30 pounds to lose, 21 pounds in a month. That's a month, everybody. You're all struggling maybe to lose a pound a week. Admit it, right? Am I right? Maybe a pound a week. And you're at the gym and you're killing yourself and you're doing cardio. It's nonsense. It's not going to work. You're fighting like hell not to weigh more next week than you did when you started. Yeah, you lost some weight. Wait, the problem also with diets is always a destination. Well, I'm going to a wedding, I need to lose some weight, right? But okay, then what do you do? The then what do you do becomes part of the problem. How do you think we're going to get to 86% of Americans overweight and obese in 4 years if diets worked? I'd love for anybody to give me the logic behind that. I'm a researcher. I look at it and go, wait a minute, whoa, this is crazy. Do you know how ineffective diets really are? Do you all access? I mean, I just told you that 2/3 of everybody on every diet gains more weight than they lost, according to Medicare. That's not according to me. I've lost 66 pounds, Dr. Furman's Eat to Live. Gloria, great. I lost 67. How long did it take you? But the problem with that, number one, Furman's thing, there's no medical proof behind it. That's number one. Number two, it removes no toxins from the body. Number three, it does nothing to lower inflammation. Congratulations on the weight. See, a year. Okay, so 132 pounds. Okay, well, let's look at, see, here's the thing. She lost 60 pounds in 90 days. 100 pounds on this, you'd lose it in about 5 months max. 4 months probably. Here's a lady right here. Look at this. 200 pounds in 11 months. So what took you a year to lose basically 66 kilos, she lost 100 kilos in 11 months. Not that what you did is not great, but Furman, again, is just another one of these gimmicky things. There's no medical science behind it. There are no peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. And the thing you'd have to guard against, listen, I'm cheering for you, but don't think it's not a detox. And if you don't believe you're toxic, then you're good. Then go with Furman. But if you believe, and I think you told me, I think you commented that we're living in a toxic world. Furman's diet, that doesn't do anything for toxins. Nothing. Zero. I see this stuff all the time. It's wonderful that you did that. But look at her. Where's the loose skin? That's 100 kilos in 11 months. And then look at this. Here's a guy. That's 30 kilos in a month. In a month. He weighed in kilos, it'd be 185 kilos. Look at that. I mean, you ever seen anything like that? In a month, 30 kilos? Gloria, look at that. Is that just, but we see it all the time. I mean, look at this guy here. 22 and a half kilos in a month. That's a month, Gloria, a month. And look at how much he shrank. Sorry. I'm 29, 30% body fat. I feel so slow. I know. I felt good. Not good, Balin. So, Balin, male or female, how tall are you and what's your current weight? I need to know your current weight. Yeah, Gloria, please understand, Gloria, I'm on your side. Gloria, I'm an educator, okay? And with all due respect to Dr. Furman, I know about his work, but there's no medical proof behind it. And unless you don't believe, Gloria, we're living in a toxic world, then keep doing whatever you're doing. We're not here to, listen, our job is not to convince anybody. Our job is, here's the medical proof. Unfiltered, no opinions, no prejudice. We have no products to sell you, Gloria. What would be our advantage? We want to educate you. But look at this, 22 kilos in a month? Come on, that's right. Now that's at the high end, but the least they're losing, look, the least. She lost 30 kilos in 90 days. I mean, there's no, and she detoxed her body, and she gained 9% lean muscle. We didn't even talk about that, Gloria. I'm sure, I don't know if you measured it or not, but I will promise you, whatever weight you lost on Furman's diet, up to 40% is lean muscle mass. I mean, there's no such thing. See, the other fallacy in that, what food, even if you get the best food, it doesn't compare with this food from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represents 300 different nutrients. 300. You can't do that at your local grocery store, even in Canada. Doing all organic. It's not even 10% or 5% of what's in this. If the body relies on nutrition, wouldn't it make sense the more nutrition you can give your body, the healthier you're going to be? That's it, everybody. That's the secret. It's not, it sounds too simple, but you got to understand food in North America 100 years ago was completely different than it is today. The same thing around the world. I don't care if it's Brazil. I don't care. Now in Europe, there's still, they basically go shopping every single day. It's way fresher, et cetera. But the amount of nutrition in their food is declining rapidly around the world. So you used to, Yes, I use the 360 app to measure my body. And what happened? I'm curious. Gloria, I don't want to talk. If you want to, Gloria, all I can do is present the medical evidence and then you decide. That's it. All I can tell you is it's free coaching. You're buying food, but you can't buy this food anywhere else in the world. Well, part of it, 30% of what you'd get, you'd buy at your grocery store, and the rest from these sources. Okay, so who's asking? Oh, Balin, I'm 5'2", 165. Okay, 5'2", 110, be a great weight for you, 55 pounds. Get ready, Balin. First 4 days, you're going to lose, I know it sounds crazy to you, 8 to 10 pounds in 4 days. The first month minimum for you, probably about 25 pounds, 140 after 1 month. It'll slow down a little bit, 120 after 2 months. So to get to 110, I'd say 2.5 months, you're going to be at 110. Balin, tell me how excited you'd be about that. Your energy is going to go through the moon. Your mental fog, everything's going to change, everything. But I mean, tell me, give me some adjectives, Balin. How excited would you be about those numbers? You're going to lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise, and you're going to gain 9%, 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. That's the other thing, Gloria. On this, not only didn't they lose lean muscle, they gained, well, from 9 to 12%. Some people gain 12% lean muscle mass. That's not happening on Furman's diet. And like I said, I know him. I don't know him personally, but nice person, etc. But we're now in an age, we're way beyond opinions. We're way beyond just anecdotal evidence. Because again, unless you're going to show me medical proof that this is removing toxins from your body, then you're adding more and more poison to your body every single day. Not because I said so, because the medical proof. Heck, they did a study, everybody, on newborn infants about 10 years ago. And they looked at their cord blood of babies at birth, and every baby coming in the world was coming in the world with about 287 toxic chemicals. So Gloria, can you imagine, or Balin, can you imagine how toxic we are? And it's not going away, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse. So that's all I can tell you. The main reason to do this is to detox. It's not about the weight loss, it's about third down the line. Detox is number one. Maintenance. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So Balin, I love it. Okay, and Balin, here's where you can go. And Balin, did you hear me explain how this works? Because it's based on food, and no one was allowed to exercise, although you can exercise for sure if you want to. You get free coaching and a free consultation. What do you think of detox teas? Total nonsense. Total, not a shred of medical evidence. None. Zero. Zero evidence. Zero. That's the problem, Balin. You're seeing this stuff advertised. It sounds good. Oh, I want a detox tea. You do? Where's the medical proof? Where's the proof it's removing herbicides and pesticides and PCBs? There isn't a shred, not a shred. It's all marketing razzmatazzo. Thanks for bringing that up. Balin, why do you think we're in such trouble? Balin, you're too young to have that kind of weight to be carrying around. Balin, I just told you how fast you can be. Before summer, my God, you're going to be like a different person. I mean, it's up to you. It's not up to us. If you go to the website, I swear to God, on my kids' lives, we will not contact any of you. If you go there, the only thing there is the medical proof. My God, this is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. What journals is Furman published in, Gloria? What journals? Zero. That's all I can tell you. It sounds good, and they got MD after the name. Well, they must know what they're doing. They're not nutritional scientists. They're not researchers. If that worked, where is their medical proof? They don't let you take a drug unless it goes through a peer-reviewed human trial study. If 2/3 of everybody on every diet gains more weight than they lost, Gloria, I hope you're not part of that crowd. But 2/3 of everybody on every diet that's ever been tested, they're weighing more than they did when they started. Does that sound good to anybody here? Or is it just my craziness? Again, who would like to tell me, if they're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, and I'll blow your mind at how you're going to lose as much weight in 4 days on this as 6 weeks of any diet you've ever been on, any of you. So who else would like to? I'm going to take a look at the website. Good, Balin. But understand, Balin, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. You have to scroll down and get a free, if you want to. We will not contact you. We're too busy. Our job is not to convince you. Our job is to educate you. Here's the evidence. Then you decide. How's that sound? to everybody. The other thing that I should tell you is that it'll say right on the website, 100% money back guaranteed. That's a little misleading, not on purpose. 30% of the food, take your food budget last month, only 30% mail-in or anybody else. That's all you need to spend at your grocery store. Well, if this doesn't work, they're not going to give you your money back because you bought a month's worth of food, even though you bought way less food than you used to. The other 70% of the money you spent on these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, if in the first month this doesn't work for you, 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked, even though you've eaten all the food. Are they doing that on these other programs? Hell no. And nothing's 100%. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be that dumb to say that. You all have a chance. You're right. You're on a podcast right now that could change the rest of your lives. But most of you won't even stick around long enough to figure out, what did she do? She ate food, everybody, in a new way, developed by the top researchers in the world. 30% of the food she ate came from your grocery store. You get a grocery list. The other 70% you can't buy in any grocery store anywhere in the world. It comes from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Why is that important? Because those foods have enormous amounts of nutrition. So much so that the researchers call them the world's most perfect foods, and then making the world's most perfect meal, because they have about 300 different nutrients. You only eat food not for calorie counting, but for nutrition. Why is this so hard? Who would like to ask me a question? Do you want me to walk you through again? Anybody? How did she do that? She lost 60 pounds in 90 days, everybody. 60 in 90 days. We got a nice lady on here now. She lost the equivalent of be about 120 pounds in a year. In a year? No, not in a year. On this, maximum 100 pounds, maximum 4 to 5 months. 4 to 5 months maximum to lose 100 pounds. They're averaging at least 20 pounds a week. But you're gaining lean muscle. You're not gaining lean muscle on these other diets. It's just so amazing that we have something like this. So who would like to know? Nobody else is commenting. It's okay. You don't have to. I mean, it's not your obligation. So who else would like to ask me a question? Hello, Lynn. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Mad Girl 10,000. I got it. So again, who else would like to ask me a question? If you tell me if you're male or female, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this, if that's what you want to do. Who would like to ask me? So again, who would like to know exactly? Who would like to know? If you'll tell me how tall you are, it's real simple. It's not invasive. Do you want a free evaluation or not? If you tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, I'll show you I'll tell you what you should weigh from a medical standpoint, and then I'll show you how fast you can get there. But basically, you're going to lose as much weight in 4 days as in 6 weeks of any diet. 6 weeks of any diet. Who would like to know? Hello, Kendall. Listen, this is live, everybody. This is not pre-recorded. I'm a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I'll show you again my credentials, not to impress you, but impress upon you. 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world, 20 appearances on public broadcasting, 1,500 live lectures around the world in universities and hospitals. They even flew me to China, and I was a keynote at Autism One in Chicago, one of the largest autism conferences in the world, 2 years in a row. Because you see, every autistic kid had severe gut issues, which we're trying to educate the parents. So I'm not just some person up here just talking. I've spent 23 years of my life as a nutritional researcher. By the way, none of my books are for sale on the website. There's nothing for sale. We don't have it. You're buying, to do this, you're buying food, and we teach how to detox naturally in your body. and then it's sustainable. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. So again, who else would like to know how this is possible, I mean? So again, who would like to know, if you'll tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight. Excuse me, this is not a diet. It doesn't work like diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. It's a detox. How many of you believe your tox? Oh, Gloria, I'm 5'4", 121. Yeah, and I just checked, Gloria, just to let you know, I just went offline and checked on Furman. He doesn't have any reputable peer-reviewed human trial studies on what he's doing, just like I suspected. Okay, so let me see what we got here. You are, okay, you're 164, so you're about 5'5". And your current weight is about 260, is that right? Okay, at 5'4", the most you want to be is about 120. That means 140 pounds. Okay, get ready, Gloria. The first 4 days, you should lose 8 or 10 pounds. The first month, Gloria, you're going to lose about 30 pounds. By after a month, I see you at about 230. The second month, it might slow down a little bit. 230, you should be right around 205, 207. The third month, it might slow down a little bit more, and then it's going to stabilize. So from 207, after 3 months, 207, you should be 207, 187. 4 months, 167. 5 months, 147. 6 months, 220, 127. So basically, in 6 months or less, Gloria, you will have dropped about 130, 140 pounds. Tell me how excited you'd be about that, Gloria. And you're going to gain 6 to 9% lean muscle. But Gloria, the most important thing, you're going to detox your body. Like I said, as I suspected, Furman, no high-level, peer-reviewed human trial studies. It's mostly opinions and anecdotal evidence. There's nothing like this. No evidence to remove toxins from the body, lowering inflammation, any of the other biomarkers. It's all just mostly anecdotal evidence. So what do you think about that? Tell me, Gloria. Okay, so IDK, I'm 161.87. Okay, you're 161. All right, so you're about 5'4". Let's see, 87, 160. Okay, at 5'4", you would want to be, let's say, maximum 60 kilos. So you're 87 kilos now. In the first 4 days on this, you're going to lose 3 to 4 kilos. The first month, you should lose close to 10 kilos. So you'll be 77 kilos after 1 month. You'll be 67 kilos after 2. So I'm going to tell you right now, there's no, in about 10 weeks, you should be right at about 60 kilos. Tell me how excited you'd be about that. Now, one thing, JDK, I want to be cautious of. This is not available everywhere in the world. It's available in the United States, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico. It's available in New Zealand and Australia, and anywhere in the EU, including Cyprus now. It is not available anywhere else in the world. So are you in one of those countries, IDK? I think it's LDK or ID. I think it's LDK, yes. I want to make sure you understand. I don't want you to waste your time. Because if you go to the website, yeah, it's not available. I'm sorry. It's not available to you. It's only available if you were in one of those other countries. I have nothing to do with it, LDK, because we don't have any products to sell you. You buy the products either from your grocery store like in Japan, but the other foods you can't get. They only come, they're not available in stores. They're from the researchers. I'm sorry. That's what I was afraid of. Yeah, I know, Gloria, but promise me. Gloria, don't promise me. Here's what I would invite you to do, Gloria. Go to the website, watch. It's called 60 Minutes. It'll change your life. I promise if you watch that, you're done with Furman, you're done with diets, and then you also, on the site, are the actual medical journals published on the site for you to see. Okay? And then, Gloria, if you like what you see, scroll down. You get a free consultation and a free coach, and the coaching's free the whole time, all the way to your goal. But can you imagine, Gloria, that in that first week, losing like 10 pounds? Not week, in 4 days. Gloria, 4 days. How much will that incentivize you to continue going? Good, Gloria, good. But I want to just let you know, Gloria, we won't contact you. Are you good with that? If you like, scroll down, get a free coach. You don't have to, but I think you're going to want to once you see the medical evidence, okay? Thank you so much for all your input today. Gloria, can I ask you one last question? Um, oh, you were in Canada before, and now you live in Japan. Well, you could have got it if you were in Canada, but it's not available in Japan. I'm sorry, and I have nothing to do with that. But Gloria, are you aware of anybody on social media with one shred of medical evidence? Give me a yes or no, because Furman's not the answer. I mean, he has clinical stuff, but that's not a peer-reviewed human trial study in a major medical journal. Becky, oh, I didn't do you, Becky. I'm sorry. 4'11", 195. Okay, Becky, at 4'11", 100 pounds would be a deal for you. That's 95 pounds. Becky, get ready. Brace yourself. First 4 days, Becky, 6 to 8 pounds. First month, minimum 20. So you should be down 175 after 1 month, 155 after 2 months, 135 after 3 months. 4 months, you're going to be right at about 205, maybe 207. So basically, in a little bit over 4 months, Becky, you'll be 100 pounds. Tell me how excited you'd be about that. And Becky, that's with no exercise. You're going to lose a whole dress size in the first week. I promise you, within a month, you're going to have to buy new clothes. None of your clothes are going to fit you. This is not a diet. It is a detox. And Becky, were you here when I walked all the way through what they do? Because it's based on food and a completely new way of eating, and it's a detox. I'm happy to go over it with you again. Just give me a yes or no in the bottom so that I know, that I know that you got a rundown of how this works. No, okay, Becky, I'm going to do it for you and for everybody. All right. Listen, everybody, be patient. It's going to take me 2 or 3 minutes to go through it. Okay? You want a medical solution. It's going to take a couple minutes to explain it. So here, first of all, who invented it, Becky? The top weight loss researchers in the world. They were paid for 40 years to analyze diets. In 40 years, they never found a diet where people lost weight and kept it off, ever. 2/3 of everybody they studied gained more weight than they lost, because 25 to 40% of the weight you've ever lost, any of you on any diet, is lean muscle mass. Period. End of the story. Not up for debate, okay? So, Becky, what the researchers did after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, they said there've got to be people somewhere in the world who aren't overweight. So they found these other researchers who had found people in 5 or 6 different countries, in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Nobody was overweight. And yet there was a commonality. What they did was really pretty simple, Becky. The foods they ate contained massive amounts of nutrients that aren't available anywhere else in the world. And those nutrients are what made the people be able to eat less food. And that was the secret, because your body, Becky, you've never been hungry in your life for a calorie, despite whatever you thought or what you were told. That's a lie. Your body can't measure calories. It's impossible. You can't be hungry for calories. The only thing you can be hungry for, Becky, is nutrition. So the researchers now, based on this research, they came back and put a grocery list together. But this time, Becky, only 30, imagine you have no food in your house, all of you. You're going to get a grocery list, but only 30% of whatever you spent last month, that's all you need to spend at the grocery store, leaving you 70% of the money to go towards these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Most people feel whatever you spent last month, total food, if you added maybe $25 a week more, then it would cover this. Some people say this is great. It is very affordable, okay? Now, based on these foods, they invented a new way of eating, Becky, called protein pacing. And what happens is 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. Yep. You're going to start only with these world's most perfect foods around the world that contain 300 different nutrients. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you need no supplements at all. You got it, Becky? Okay, so breakfast, the world's most perfect food. Lunch and dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal, the world's most perfect foods. Then 2 days a week, Becky, here's the detox. And I should have asked you that before. Becky, do you believe we're living in a toxic world? And do you believe you're toxic? Because what we know scientifically, we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals as the end of the body. The body's taking the chemical and stuffing it inside what's called our visceral fat. Our visceral fat is the fat around our organs, and those fat cells expand or they can contract. Because this is a detox, they proved medically that the fat cells shrink. They don't go away. There's no such thing as burning fat on a diet or at the gym, Becky. If you think that, you're being lied to. It's not true, okay? Now, The way the body detoxes every night when you go to sleep, Becky, as long as you don't eat too late, your body will all but suspend digestion. It has to do that in order to turn on a natural mechanism called autophagy, because otherwise it wouldn't be enough energy to digest. Do you know that digesting your food takes about 60% of the energy in your body to digest food? So that's why you want to stop that digestion. That's why eating late at night is so bad, okay? So anyway, to make a long story short, by giving her 8 meals a day, and they were spreading that out over about 12 or 14 hours, she got really small amounts of food, slowing down her digestive tract, but those foods, even in real small quantities, had still huge amounts of nutrition. And they proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, Becky, this is removing chemicals from the body. But that's not the only thing they saw. This is the most medically scrutinized weight loss program in history, okay? They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. They did liver enzymes. They did cognitive ability. They measured all kinds of things. And one of the biggest things they breakthrough was inflammation, which you and me and everybody suffers from. It came down 25% in a month. There were diabetics on this who dropped their insulin by 50% in a month, every 50%. And then Becky, maintenance. I lost 40 pounds, 20 kilos in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. By doing what? This morning, before I came in the studio, I had the world's most perfect food for breakfast. I'm going to have lunch and dinner. And every 2 months, I do another 48-hour detox. Why? Because the toxins aren't going on vacation. So I hope this makes sense. But in addition, Becky, all of you can go to this website. And the only thing there is the medical proof. I want you all to be able to see it. It's called The New Health Conversation. It is the movement that I founded 23 years ago. And we have helped, you ready for this, everybody? We have helped 800,000 people in 23 years, 800,000. So we know what we're doing. That's why, Becky, when I gave you those numbers, we have the statistics are based on whether people, male or female, how tall they were, their current weight. And we know how long it took them to lose weight. So Becky, imagine 4.5 months from now where you could be. Not 4.5 years from now, 4.5 months. But Becky, what excites people is when they stand on that scale after the 5th morning and they've lost the kind of weight that took them 6 weeks, they're in shock. And once they think, is this real? I mean, you understand how much that would motivate you. Also, Becky, you're going to lose a whole dress size. Maybe I said that in a week. Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. Let me show you an example of a 65-year-old diabetic man, everybody. How about 40 pounds, 20 kilos in a month? Look at his stomach on day 1. Look at his stomach on day 30. Oh, Gloria, you gave me a heart. Thank you very much. But Gloria, look at that. And then Eric here, crazy. How about 22.5 kilos or 45 pounds in a month, everybody? Look at his triglycerides and his LDL in half in 30 days. And then look at his blood pressure, 134/91 dropped to 102/61 in 30 days. This is going to change your life or not. It's not up to us. If you go to that website, it's at the bottom for all of you to see. We won't contact you. We don't do that. Why would we need to? There's the medical proof. If you like what you see, scroll all the way down and you get free coaching. By all the way, Becky and everybody else, if you go there, like to get the free coaching, it says 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify that. The 30% of the food you're going to physically buy from your grocery store. So you got to walk down the street or get in your car, go to the grocery store. That 30%, they won't refund your money. At least I don't think they will. But the other 70% you're buying from these other research that come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. If this doesn't work in the first month, 100%, no questions asked, money back guarantee, they'll even pay return shipping. Because look, nothing is 100%. But otherwise, if you don't do this, what are you doing to help your body get rid of toxins that you continue to accumulate every day? Unless you think it's okay that somehow our body can ward off this stuff. This is changing the world. It's not, the main reason to do it is not to lose weight. It's 100% to detoxify your body. I didn't say don't like them. I'm just saying it's not this. And again, I told you the kind of numbers that you weren't going to do that with Dr. Fung or Dr. Esselin, right? And I know them. It's okay, but they don't have this kind of medical research. They just don't. I mean, weight loss is that's a number on a scale, but what it doesn't tell you, what kind of weight are you actually losing? And we know, Becky, based on Gloria, on every single medical analysis, that 25 to 40% of what people are losing is lean muscle mass. It's just that simple. I have It's wonderful. We have lots of people, well, with liver problems in particular, but also with kidney issues, et cetera. Um, you definitely can do it. You 1,000,000% can do it. And again, obviously you can check with your medical doctor. We always tell you to do that anyway. But we have people with kidney transplants. We got people with I mean, we got all kinds of stuff. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with no thyroids. How about no thyroid? Radiated out due to cancer and perimenopause, menopause, PCOS. I mean, a whole long list of people. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing medical conditions. But as far as women go, they tell us all the time that their symptoms, hot sweats, night flashes, mood swings, bloating, all change. And of course, if you are in menopause, you have a heck of a time losing weight. Not on this. It's not a diet. So who else would like to ask me a question? Or if you tell me if you're male or female, I'll tell you you are, and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. And we're at 1,800 likes. Come on, if you like the content, everybody, get on there. Let's tap on that screen. So who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, good. We get some hearts going. I see that going up there. Come on, everybody. I'm willing to give you a free consultation. Look, imagine she safely dropped 60 pounds in just 90 days without dieting, using a new natural detox method and backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trials, and she's kept it off for 9 years. You tell me. So let's see, 6:49. Yeah, I'm going to go about good, Becky. Great, great. Becky, I promise you won't be disappointed. And Becky, you may get called. They normally call, text, so you know it's them. They can Zoom you, they can FaceTime you, whatever you want to do. The coaching's free, Becky, free. How much is the coaching? 0. So normally, Becky, if you don't hear back from them today, no later than tomorrow, okay? Just to let you know. Congratulations. Would anybody else like to know if you'll tell me if you're male or female, and how tall you are, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. Who would like to know? Matthew Perry. When did you do that? 6:49. Oh, just now. Okay, Matthew, I'm going to walk you through it. So Matthew, if you don't mind, and you don't have to do this, but it'll help me to help you. Matthew, how tall are you and what your current weight is, and I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight, and then I'm going to explain the detox to you. A couple of things, Matthew, right away while you're thinking about that. Becky, great. You get to work and have a good day, everyone. Yes. So anyway, Matthew, this is based on food. There's no products, there's no elixirs, there's no magic detox tea or any crap like that. And Matthew, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, so it's safe and it's real. It was developed by the top weight loss researchers in the world, but first and foremost, it's a detox, okay? I'm 6 feet, 235. Okay, at 6 feet, Matthew, great weight for you is going to be about 180. 180 is going to be what, 55 pounds? Yeah, I think I did that right. 180, 40 would be 220. Yeah. So let me do the math again. 40 pounds would be 220, another 55. Yeah, 55 pounds. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. Okay, Matthew, get ready. The first 4 days, Matthew, on this, you're going to lose 8 to 10 pounds. Matthew, in the first week, you're going to lose 2 to 4 inches off your waist in the first week. So Matthew, the numbers are going to look something like this. The first 30 days, you'll probably drop at least 25 pounds. You'd be 210 after 1 month. It'll slow down a little bit. I said the second month, you're going to lose about 20, so 210, you're going to drop down to 190. The third month, easily, you're going to be 180. So probably 2.5 to 3 months, Matthew, you'll be 180. Just give me a comment. How excited would you be about that? But also, you're going to lose 2 to 4. Listen, Matthew, I did it 23 years ago. I lost 8 pounds in 4 days. I ended up losing, I lost 8 pounds in 4 days, 12 pounds in 9 days, 20 pounds in 18 days, 30 pounds in a month, 40 pounds in 2 months. I went from a 42-inch waist to a 34-inch waist, 8 inches in 14 days, which I've maintained now for 23 years. So I was similar to you as far as those numbers, so I can speak from personal experience, but I didn't even do as well. Like, look at this guy here, Matthew. He's 65 years old, a diabetic, 40 pounds in a month. His A1C, you can see it there, went from 8.4 to 6.4. Yeah, that would be great for sure. And I promise I'm going to walk you through how they did it. And then look at Eric here, 45 pounds in a month. Now, I'm not going to promise you that. Could it happen? Yes. So I'd rather under-promise for you, Matthew, and have it overperform. Do you agree? And here's the website. Hopefully it'll show up here. When we're done, you can go there at any time, and you get a free consultation, HEALTH. And the website, there's nothing to buy on the website, Matthew. The only thing there is the medical proof. And if you do, there it is right there below your name, the New Health, I spelled it right, Conversation. If you go there, there's only the medical proof, but if you like what you see, scroll down and you'll see free coaching, free consultation. How much is the consultation? Zero. How much is the coaching? Zero. So let's talk about, Matthew, how they physically did this. So first of all, it was invented, let's go to Ken. Look at this guy, 34 pounds in 29 days. Do you see, Matthew, why I'm saying the numbers I'm giving you are very, very, very realistic? And Matthew, the New Health Conversation, which is the website, but it's also the movement that you're seeing right there. We've helped 800,000 people, everyone, in 23 years. 800,000. So, Matthew, I promise we know what we're doing. Now, nothing's 100%. As a matter of fact, Matthew, it'll say, if you go to get the free consultation, 100% money back guarantee. Well, that's not totally true, because now I'm going to explain to you what you would buy. You're going to buy food, not from us. 30% of what you would buy from what you spent last month, you're going to get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, and vegetables. But let's say it doesn't work. They're not going to refund your money. Now, here's the key to this whole thing. The other 70% of the food doesn't come from any grocery store anywhere, Matthew. It comes literally from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where these researchers found people in those areas. No one was overweight. And they were eating these foods that you can't get in any grocery store that had this inordinate, huge amounts of nutrition, and then therefore people could eat smaller portions. So 70% of what you're going to buy comes from these regions. And if for example, in the first 30 days, Matthew, if this doesn't work, 100% money back guarantee on 70%. We don't control your grocery store. We don't control anything. But I'm just telling you, when you go there, it says 100% money back guarantee. I don't want you to be misled. Okay, so here's what they did. So they had the foods now, Matthew. You're going to get a grocery list. You're going to take to the grocery store 30% of what you're going to spend. The other 70% from these foods from around the world that the researchers call the world's most perfect foods. From a nutritional standpoint, they have over 300 nutrients. That's these people's secret. See, Matthew, you've never been hungry for a calorie in your life. Your buddy can't count calories, doesn't give a damn about a calorie. Calories are a measurement in a laboratory. That's it. It's not a real thing. But what's a real thing is nutrition, okay? So then they invented for him and everybody a new way of eating. So 5 days a week, he had 4 meals a day. He started with the World's Most Perfect Meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal, the World's Most Perfect Foods, 5 days a week until he lost his weight. 2 days a week, no food from his grocery store, only these World's Most Perfect Foods. This time, he ate 8 times a day, and here's where the detox comes in, Matthew. Last night when you went to sleep, or me, as long as we didn't eat too late, our body slows down digestion, which it has to do, and turns on a natural mechanism called autophagy when your body gets rid of the dead cells. Every night it occurs, as long as you don't eat too late, okay? Well, these researchers figured that if they could get these foods and give him 8 servings over about 12 hours, really small amounts of food, which involve very little digestion, it would turn on the mechanism, and then because those foods have disproportionate amounts of nutrition, the body had sufficient nutrition to not be in starvation mode, and it detoxed. Now, how do they know, Matthew? Because they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing toxins from the body. Diabetics on this cut their insulin by 50% in a month. But here was a big one that all of us, including you and me, suffer from, Matthew: inflammation. It went down 25% in a month. No one's ever seen anything like this. And then maintenance. How did he maintain the weight? How did I do it for 23 years? Every morning, like before I came in the studio, I had the World's Most Perfect Food for breakfast. I'll have a lunch and dinner today, and then every 2 months, I do another detox, 48 hours. Why, Matthew? Because the chemicals aren't going on vacation. And again, you'll get more detail if you go to the website. There's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, and he'll tell you they are the top experts. They'll never put anyone on a traditional diet again. They invented this. They have no company. They have no products, but they put this together. And that's a lot in a little bit of time. I understand. Okay, so, okay, for sure. You're good. Okay, Matthew, I see there, the New Health Conversation. I spelled it right, yeah. So anyway, Matthew, that's where you can go. You get a free consultation. There's just a form you fill out, and they'll get a hold of you normally within 24 hours. Any other questions, Matthew? Or anybody else for that matter? Who else would like to know how this works? Because it's not, you can lose as much weight on this in 4 days as 6 weeks of any diet. So imagine she safely dropped 60 pounds in 90 days, everybody. Think about that. 60 pounds in 90 days without dieting. You tell me. So I think that's Gloria again there. I'm not sure, at the very bottom. Gloria 20, hello. I'm saying hello to you. Who else would like to ask me a question? If you'll tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are, then I'll tell you how much weight you can lose. Basically, you're going to lose as much weight in 4 days as in 6 weeks of any diet you've ever been on. Who would like to know? Anybody? Imagine she safely dropped 60 pounds in 90 days without dieting. It's that simple. It was a detox. Okay, good, Matthew. Have a wonderful day, and just be sure you're clear on, screenshot that website. And if you go there, I just go and look at the medical proof. If you like it, scroll down or not, because we're not going to contact you, Matthew, if you go there. We don't do that. So don't worry about going there and you're going to get a phone call from us. We don't need to do that. We're scientists. We rely on the medical proof for you to say, okay, I want to know more. Then you reach out to us, and then you get a free consultation. And if you decide to do it, the coaching is 100%. How much is the coaching? Zero. How much is the consultation? Zero. How can we do it? Because it's a movement, and so many people have gone on this and had such amazing results. They come to us and say, I'd like to be a coach. I'd like to help somebody else. That's basically what they say. So everybody gets a coach. The coaching's free for all of you. Free, free, free. How much is the coaching? Zero. How much is the consultation? Zero. So who else would like to know? Again, imagine she safely dropped 60 pounds in 90 days without dieting. Without dieting. Who else would like to know? Anybody? Hello, Simple S. So what I want to tell all of you, not to be the bearer of bad news. Oh, I was going to talk about the shots. So let me do that right now. Some of you have been on here long enough. So let's talk about the GLP-1s. We're not against them. They're helping diabetics and people that are morbidly obese. But I want you to see the actual numbers of what really is going on, not maybe what you're seeing on the fancy ads on TV. Here's the New England Journal of Medicine, one of the top medical journals in the world. So they're neutral, right? They did a semaglutide 68-week study. That's not 6 or 8 weeks. I'm talking 1 year and 4 months, to be clear. And I want to contrast their results with this. I'm going to read from the study. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. Do you know how unhealthy it is to lose lean muscle mass, which you do on every diet, not just on the GLP-1s? She gained 9% lean muscle mass. And so it took them, remember, the New England Journal of Medicine, 68 weeks, 32 pounds. She lost 35 pounds in 37 days, everybody, with a natural detox and a new way of eating. We're not against the shots. But if you had a choice, 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and I'm not saying you're not going to lose, I mean, this is exceptional, but also she didn't exercise. There was no exercise involved. Lost 35 pounds in 37 days. They all did. I mean, you look at the 65-year-old man, 40 pounds in a month with no exercise. Look at his stomach on day 1. Look at his stomach on day 30. That's a result of the detox. That's not body image. It has nothing to do with that. He's so much healthier. The shrinkage came from the body being able to remove toxins from the fat cells that have expanded. And we look at a picture on day 1. He didn't add fat to his body. He's not getting fatter. We would never say that. It's not true. So again, who else would like to know if you'll tell me how tall you are and your current, I just need to know if you're male or female, your current height. Oh, let's talk a little bit more about the shots. So this is, every medication has a side effect. Okay, so this is about the GLP-1s. I'm neutral. I'm just going to read to you from the study. This is from Australian researchers. Recently just came out in the last couple of weeks. And they're talking about the shots. I'm going to read from the study. So just be patient. It'll be worth you. At least you'll know, right? At least you'll know. The GLP-1 starvation epidemic, a medical disaster unfolding in plain sight. These so-called miracle weight loss injections, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Tirzepatide, are being pushed as the ultimate fix for obesity. But behind the glossy ads and celebrity endorsement lies the truth. They are systematically starving millions of users from the inside out. This isn't a side effect. This is full-blown nutritional catastrophe that doctors are only now becoming aware of. Here's the raw, unfiltered data. Scurvy is back and it's hitting modern patients. Australian researchers just exposed the scandal. After 17 years of clinical trials on the shots, researchers barely bothered to track what patients were eating. Now we're seeing real cases of full-blown scurvy, yes, Pirates disease, bleeding gums, open wounds, total exhaustion. British star Robbie Williams publicly blamed his 2025 scurvy diagnosis on these shots. I stopped eating. I wasn't getting nutrients. This is 2026, not 1700. How the hell did we let this happen? 40% of what you're losing is precious muscle mass, turning you frail and broken. Forget the scale victories. You're losing lean muscle mass at terrifying rates, especially if you're over 40. This accelerates sarcopenia, osteoporosis, heart failure risk, and permanent metabolic damage. Again, not an opinion. These are medical researchers. You can go look it up yourselves. So again, buyer beware. Yeah, you're going to lose some weight on the shots. But like every diet, up to 40% of what you're going to lose is your lean muscle mass. People coming off the shots, they're gaining as much as a half a pound a day. That's all I mean, I only can give you medical proof. It's not an opinion. I'm not down on the drugs. I'm not up on the drugs. I'm saying, here's the evidence. Compare Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days to 32 pounds in 68 weeks. And she gained 9% lean muscle. Which one would you all choose if you had the chance? And here's what's different about this. This is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world on weight loss and health, in the Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrition Journal, Nutrients Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition, and Nature Communications, which is one of the top 3 medical journals in the world. And it had nothing to do with the weight loss. The title of this study in Nature: Gut microbiome remodeling metabolic profile improves drastic in response to protein pacing. Nobody, I'll challenge any of you. Come on, show me anybody on social media with one shred of medical evidence for weight loss. They're yakking, they're giving you opinions. They don't have a damn shred of medical evidence. My God, we're looking at Johns Hopkins Medical School predicting obesity apocalypse in 4 years. 86% of Americans, we estimate, will be overweight or obese in 4 years. What are we doing? You're counting calories. You're doing keto or paleo or Mediterranean. Now you're doing the shots. I just read to you the shots. 40% of what you're losing is your lean muscle mass. It's causing scurvy, for crying out loud. Okay, and maybe it was a small study. If one person affects that, that's not good. I'm not doing it. I don't know about you. I mean, my God, she lost 35 pounds in 37 days. They lost 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and 40% of what they lost was lean muscle. She gained 9% lean muscle. Which one would you choose? Any of you? Any of you? I don't know. It's really something else. So who else would like to know about this or not? I think we just had a doctor on, lasted about 5 seconds and gone. But again, they should respect the fact that this is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. And I would love to ask them, well, what's your solution? What do you think works? There's not a shred of evidence. There's nobody on TikTok we can find with any medical proof at all. It doesn't exist. So who else would like to know? If you'll tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. Who would like to know? You want to know how she lost 35 pounds in 37 days? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. I'm not a mind reader. I'm a researcher. I'm happy to tell you the outcomes. Again, I'm waiting. Would anybody like to know? If you'll tell me if you're male or female, how tall you are and your current weight, I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why you all sit on your hands. I'm willing to give you, I just want to know 3 things. Male or female, how tall you are, and your current weight, and I'll tell you, you're going to lose as much weight in this in 4 days, typically, as in 6 weeks of any diet. And it's totally safe. and it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So who would like to know how they can do this? Anybody? Tanya the calm one. I like that. Juliana, user 746, Maz joined. Hello and welcome to all of you. This is live. It's not pre-recorded. It's a podcast. We publish, except for today, I'm flying to give a lecture. I'm leaving in about 30 minutes to go to the airport. Normally, I'm on at least 4 times a day, starting typically around 7:30, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, going until about 6, 7 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time. But I'd love to help before I close this out, which I'm going to do in the next, let's say 5, 6 minutes. I'm willing, anybody that wants to, if they'll tell me if they're male or female and how tall they are and their current weight, I'll tell you how much weight you can lose in 4 days, and then I'll explain to you, this is not a diet. You can read it. Diets are dead. She quit diets forever. She lost 35 pounds in 37 days with a natural real food detox and a better, smarter way of eating. That's it. It's based on food. There are no products. There's no elixirs. There's no pills. It's based on food and a new way of eating. It was developed or invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world. After being paid for 40 years to analyze diets, they tried to find a diet that worked. They never found a diet where people lost weight and kept it off. And 2/3 of everybody on every diet gained more weight than they lost because here was the downside. On every diet, 25 to 40% of what people lost on any diet was lean muscle mass. Not up for debate. Boom, that's it. So anybody, here's the free website you all can go to in case you're being shy and you don't want a free evaluation, which I'm willing to do for you right now. Conversation. Here's the website you all can go to or not. Your friends can go there. You don't have to be on my podcast to go and see the free website. That's the website of the movement called The New Health Conversation, because I sure as heck think we need one. So again, would anybody like to know if they'll volunteer? Are you male or female? How tall are you and what your current weight is? I'll tell you how fast you can lose weight on this. Who would like to know? Anybody? You literally could be down, you could lose the kind of weight in 4 days. It would take you 6 weeks on any diet. You could lose basically in a month what literally could take you a year on diets, and it's safe, and you gain lean muscle, you don't lose it. You're going to have energy through the moon. It's a detox. Unless you don't, I don't know. Do you think, any of you, do you believe, this is a simple question. Do you believe that we're living in a toxic world, and do you believe you're toxic? And what does that mean? It means, do you believe, because you are, storing chemicals in your fat cells. So as you drink and breathe and eat these chemicals, the body takes in the chemical, and to protect you, stuffs it inside your visceral fat, and your fat cells expand. Don't let anybody ever tell you burn fat on a diet or you burn fat at a gym. It's a lie. You have the same number of fat cells at puberty. You do when you die, give or take a few, and your fat cells can expand, but they can also contract. You can see there how much she shrank. I'll get out of the way. Look at her. Look at her stomach, look at her thighs, look at her calves. It's not photoshopped, and that's in 37 days with no exercise. Most women on this lose a whole dress size in a week. Men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week. So again, who else would like to know how to do this? Or if you'll tell me if you're male or female. We're at 1,900. Come on, at least give me a few more taps to get to 2,000, because I'm going to quit this in about 3 or 4 minutes. I know we can get another 100 likes. And tell your friends about this. They can go to that website. It's free, The New Health Conversation. There's nothing on there to intimidate you. We're not going to call you. We're not going to contact you unless you contact us. You can scroll down and get a free consultation and a free. So let me go over real quick one last time. How does this work? It was invented by the top weight loss researchers in the world after 40 years of failed attempts to find a diet that worked. They found other researchers who'd gone to areas of the world in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where nobody was overweight. And all of these people had one common theme, a common trick, you can call it. The foods they ate in those particular areas just had really high levels of nutrition. So the researchers came back and they put a grocery list together, but only 30% of whatever you spent last month on food, you're going to get a grocery list. You take it to the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Only 30%. The other 70% of the food comes from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, representing huge amounts of nutrition, so much so the researchers call those foods the world's most perfect foods that make the world's most perfect meals because they contain collectively, about 300 different nutrients. So unless you're on a prescription for low iron or calcium, you don't need anything except this. And then 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. You're going to start with the World's Most Perfect Foods for breakfast, lunch, and dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, the World's Most Perfect Foods. This is until you lose your weight. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, here comes the detox. No food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world called the World's Most Perfect Foods. This time, she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. And this was critical for the detox in the body. If you do believe you're toxic, you might want to pay attention. See, every night when you go to sleep, a milder version of detox happens. The body slows down or shuts down digestion, which it has to do to turn on a natural mechanism in your body called autophagy, when your body gets rid of the dead cells every night. That's why eating really late at night is so horrible for you, okay? And so these researchers believed that they could produce this when she was awake, and by giving her the 8 feedings a day, spread out over about 12 hours, she was getting very small amounts of food, so almost no digestion, and tremendous amounts of nutrition, and her body naturally detoxed. And they have the medical proof to back it up. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, and they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis to prove that this is removing chemicals from the body. It's that simple. So, again, does anybody have any questions before I close this out? Because I am going to close it out now. Hello, Dr. Cindy. Are you back? So, Dr. Cindy, I'd love to get your just to comment. Are you aware? I'm not trying to be confrontational. Are you aware, Dr. Cindy, of anybody on social media you've seen with 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies other than the pharmaceutical companies on what they're claiming? From what we can tell and what we see, the only thing that they're giving people on social media is anecdotal stories and opinions. This is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals for weight loss in the world. It was developed by, oh, you're gone. Okay, well, I guess she's not going to answer. I was just trying to get an answer. So that's unfortunate. Okay, well, anyway, I'm still going to end the podcast then because I've got to go. All right, everybody, thank you all very, very much for your time. I appreciate all of you. One last time, here's the website, Conversation. It's right, boom, there it is at the bottom. You all can go there at any point to see the medical proof, and we can go from there, okay? All right, everybody, bye for now.